They say the rails don't care who you are, don't care where you came from, don't care what you lost getting here. They were here before me. They'll be here after I'm gone. Steel laid down with no concern for names, only direction. They just sit there, cold, quiet, waiting for the next fool brave enough or desperate enough to follow them. Names stitch. Not because I fix things, because I've been pulled apart enough times to know how things come undone. Funny thing is, I used to answer to something else. Can't remember the sound of it anymore. Road has a way of sanding names down until there's nothing left to grab onto. This ain't a story about heroes. Heroes get statues or graves with flowers. This is a story about miles, and the kind of silence that follows you no matter how far you walk. I didn't set out looking for trouble, didn't set out looking for freedom either. That's what people always get wrong. They think men like me wake up one day, itching to disappear. Truth is, most of us were standing still when the world walked away first. I was looking for work, same as anyone else. Something honest enough to earn a meal and quiet enough not to ask questions. But work dries up faster than hope when times get lean. And once folks see that look on you, that look that says you ain't got a place to be, they start locking doors before you knock. So I walked, because walking costs nothing but time, and time was the only thing I had plenty of. Tracks stretch farther than regret ever does. That's what I like about them. Regret wants you to stop. Rails don't. No fences, no corners, no need to explain yourself. Just iron pointing forward, daring you to keep going, even when you don't know why you are. Every step starts to sound the same after a while. Gravel crunching, boot leather complaining, breath pacing your thoughts. You start counting things you never noticed before. Ties between rails, telegraph poles, clouds drifting slower than you feel inside. That's when memories sneak up. Not the big ones. The small ones you forgot mattered. By sundown, I had a fire going. Not much, just enough to keep the cold from asking too many questions. Cold's polite at first. Just sits beside you, waits. Then it starts telling you stories about how easy it would be to lie down and let everything go still. Fire's honest like that. It either burns or it doesn't. No pretending. No promises. I fed it scraps and watched the flames work like they were trying to remember something important. I watched the sky go dark one piece at a time, blue giving up to gray, gray folding into black, stars showing up late, like they weren't sure I was worth the trouble. Can't blame them. Nights are different near the rails. Air smells like rust and old oil. Sound travels farther. Loneliness, too. That's when you hear things you don't hear in towns. Not voices, feelings. That's when I heard it. Low at first. A sound you feel in your bones before your ears catch up. Steel moving somewhere far off. Something big waking up. Freight trains don't announce themselves proper. They don't care if you're ready. They just show up. Like bad memories. Or good ideas at the wrong time. I stood there longer than I should have, watching the headlight swell out of the dark like an eye opening. Part of me hoped it'd pass by. Part of me hoped it wouldn't. People think the hard part is climbing on. Truth is, the hard part is deciding to try. Once you move, the rest just happens. I told myself this would be one ride, just one. Enough to feel like I was still capable of choosing something. I always tell myself that. I waited for the right moment. Not because I knew what I was doing, but because waiting feels like control. Wind pushed at my coat. Train screamed closer. Ground shook like it was warning me one last time. Then I moved. Hands found cold steel. Boot slipped once. Heart jumped twice. After that, there was no going back. Wind hit me like it had something to prove. The train shook and groaned beneath my weight. Every bolt screaming the same warning. You don't belong here. I stayed anyway, because belonging's overrated. Sometimes surviving is enough. I wedged myself in, held on, let the world rearrange itself around me. Land rolled by, slow and endless. Farms, fields, barns leaning like tired men. Places with names I'd never learn. People I'd never meet. Didn't matter. They were already behind me. Funny thing about movement, it quiets the noise inside your head. Thoughts that chased you for miles can't keep up once the wheels get going. For the first time in a long while, I wasn't running from anything. Didn't know where the train was headed. Didn't ask. Rails don't answer questions. They just take you where they're going. Somewhere between towns, between who I was and who I might be. I realized this wouldn't be my last ride. Not because it felt good, but because it felt honest. Eventually, everything slows down. Even trains. Even men pretending they've got nothing left to lose. I stepped off where the night was quiet again. Boots hit dirt. World held still. Tracks still stretching ahead. If you're wondering where I'm headed next, so am I. The rails don't care. But I'm still listening.